Hi everyone, it's Jay here. Now, let's talk about today's video for a bit actually, because today's kid has a particularly interesting message. Now, of course, you know that we are dissecting majorly skits here, other videos as well, all to educate you on media literacy and how to learn to detect negative media influences. The positive ones, the few positive ones, you can imbibe that all you want, but we need to tackle the negative ones. Now, today's video is actually quite interesting, of course, because they send a particular message that they don't typically send. Now, most of the subliminal messages that they send often target women, often target, okay, the fact that your man is never going to be faithful because they're trying to destroy marriage. There's a satanic plan to destroy marriage, and that is part of how they're, attempting to do that. So your man is never going to be faithful, you're never going to be happy in the marriage, you're never going to be fulfilled. So that's what they tip and the relationship, that's what they typically push. But today's skit is actually targeted to the men. So it's to try to increase the stress for men, you know and of course with the other typical negative ones that they always input also, cheating and the likes. So this is a Mr. Macaroni skit. But of course, it's not only Mr. Macaroni. Majority of the skits have negative messages, so it's something you definitely need to be aware of. Now let's look at the skit, right? And what sort of messages have they input in here? Both manifest and subliminal. You have to understand there are two types of media messages, not just one, not just the obvious one. That is the manifest one. There's also the subliminal one, the one sent to your subconscious. That's not so obvious, but of course, by God's grace, I'll help you make it obvious. Okay? So let's see it, right?
Coco Choco. That is chocolate coco. Yes. Take anything you.
Okay, now when he was saying Poco Choco, this that, he was obviously trying to refer to something sexual with that. But look at what they did when she said yes, babe. Okay. Now remember, this is all intentionally constructed. Okay. So even the setting, how the setting looks, is also intentionally constructed. Okay, and they tell them how to move and how to stay, how to pose and things like that. So by the time, it was intentional that she would get to that spot, where the mannequin is basically covering her face before she says yes, babe. They intentionally set that up so you don't actually see her face, because part of how there's a lot to this actually, but part of why they do this is to attack a woman's confidence and your self identity, your identity as a person. Okay, so often, except it's something sexual, because you always want to sexualize women, and men too, but it's far worse when it comes to women because it is a satanic agenda, and they know that that is the best way to pervert the minds of men, to make men sin. But this particular one, if it's not something sexual, they will often either not show the face or zoom out of the face, or just something that lessens the impact of her as a person to you. You know, so that's it. They always do that because they are satanic bastards, right? I completely hate them for this, and for so many other reasons because they are completely evil. You know. So, but that was intentionally done. Now let's continue.
I love this one. I want them in different colors. Coco, okay. I say take anything you want. Okay. I will not treat you like Coco. I can never treat you like Coco. How is that? Yeah. From here, I take.
Okay. So you can see how when you're saying, okay, I can't treat you like Boko. Now remember he's married, okay? And when he restated that, look at how they zoomed in on the face to actually try to stamp in that impression of treating her like Boko. And Boko means Boko Haram, like a terrorist, like somebody you run away from. Okay, so they intentionally also added that. You know, it's all intentional. Do not for 1 second believe that these things are just there, because they are so well constructed. Even apart from the skits, let's say movies and music videos and things like that. Do not for 1 second ignore or forget the fact that it is all intentionally constructed. They've set it up completely intentionally, every single tiny detail that you see there, to send you a particular message, both spoken and unspoken. Okay, so you need to understand that. Now, the So that they intentionally zoomed in on his face to input that. And remember, he's also married. Now, I've told you before, one of the major, okay, there are different ways that the enemy wants to destroy our world, right? Even though it doesn't look like this is part of it, but this is part of it, you know. So, but and one major way is to destroy marriage, to destroy the institution, the great institution that God has made, right? As giving us to flourish on the earth, right? The marriage is a beautiful thing. Now, how they do that is to attack people's mindset on marriage, right? And their expectations and their beliefs, and even to cause prejudice, right? And these things that we watch, these skits, these movies, these songs we listen to, the music videos, all those things feed our mindset, and they're intentionally being made to be negative, to send negative messages, to deceive our mindset and to mislead our mindset. Okay, so it's a multiple layered thing, but by God's grace, I pray that you will gain understanding in every way in Jesus' name. Amen. So let's continue.
To Soweto. Oh God. Easy. Take it easy. Let me. Daddy, you're really spoiling me. You have to be spoiled now.
Okay, so she said, anyways, you can see what is is being said, right? What she's saying. What, you know, it's not spoiling to take her out for shopping, okay, to buy clothes for her. Daddy, oh yeah, you're really spoiling me, or Daddy, oh, you're really spoiling me. No, that's, I mean, come on. It's not spoiling if he takes her out for shopping. It is, and another thing that they also try to do is lower your expectations or to give you unrealistic expectations. They either go one of two ways, one of two extremes. Either to lower your expectations to a ridiculous level, or to give you a completely unrealistic expectation that will be almost impossible to actually do. You know. So the she now said, "You're really spoiling me." It's not spoiling if he does that. It's part of how a man takes care of his woman, right? How a wife takes care, how a husband takes care of the wife, how a boyfriend or serious relationship. Do not get into casual relationships. Okay, that's not good for you. How a boyfriend will take care of the girlfriend. That is not spoiling. What you can classify as spoiling, maybe he takes her out for a trip, maybe maybe you buy the first class ticket to one country or whatever. That maybe then you can even say spoiling, but you can even still say it's still taken care of. But you can say, okay, it's like a higher level of that. Okay, but there's nothing like spoiling if you buy some clothes for her or does some things for her. Those things are normal, and um do not place too much do not glorify these things too much, right? So if he does that, first of all, it doesn't really truly means that he loves you, although he might show that he actually cares. So do not, if you're, this is like an advice, right? So if you're in the starting stages of a relationship, okay, and let's say the guy takes you shopping, blah, blah, he does all those things, right? Do not assume that that means he's a genuine person. We all might like to believe that maybe he is, but you know that the devil has really succeeded in how it influences the mindset of people, especially men. Not all men, of course, but you know, the problems that our society faces when it comes to infidelity and deception by men and by women too, actually. So do not make the mistake of believing that those things are a sign of genuine affection. You might simply have money and be spending it. Okay, so there are far more things to judge if a person is genuine. Time is a very, very important factor in that one. Time often reveals what is true or not. Okay, ladies? All right. And of course for the guys also. So let's continue.
Jeez. Let me drop this one so I can come and pick some more.
Okay, now when we said Koro like to be bitter, right? Of course that is something we should avoid. If a person has hurt you, forgive them, but do not let it infect who you are as a person, or affect. Yeah, because it is like a virus actually. If you let negative emotions get into your mind, it is like a virus, you know.
Oh yeah. Hi. Hi. Hello. Fantabulous. Daddy. Anything you.
Right, you see again, an obsession with looks, right? So they keep pushing to men, right? Because apart from the fact, okay, they know that it's almost impossible for you to be deceived that you don't need a partner, that you don't need to get married. It's almost impossible, actually. Because no matter how crazy or wild you are, or how deceived you've been by media and those things you watch and how it makes you feel like you should behave, at the end of the day you'll still realize that those things lead you nowhere, right? And it's still better to settle and have a good relationship and have a marriage, right? But now they now make you focus on the wrong things when choosing a partner. Okay, they try to make you focus on the wrong things when choosing a partner. Okay, so for ladies now, they say most ladies they'll say, okay, he has to be tall, he has to be very rich. Okay, not like very, but he has to be rich. He has to be very well educated. He has to be this and that. You know, and while some of those things might be slightly important, it's not really important. You know, but the but for the men, they say, oh, she must have, a big bum. She must have big boobs. Her shape must be this. She must be that. She must be, over packaged and, maybe, like focusing on the body, the physical features, more than who a person is, who the woman is, you know. So that is why they just showed what they showed now. So they showed her walking away, right? And they focused on her bum, right? Because they always like to over sexualize your mind, you know. So they focused on her bum as she was walking away, right? And fantabulous, blah blah, all those things, because they want you to be focused on, to have a sexualized mindset. You know, they want to ensure actually that your minds are perverted. It's not a it's not a joking thing. It's a concerted effort. It's a focused and aligned effort over multiple forums to pervert your mind. You need to understand that, because ultimately the goal is to send you to hell. Okay, and how do you go to hell? The choices you make, and what influences your choices, the things you watch, the things you listen to, the things you hear. So that is just it. So let's continue.
What? Give to my other half. She is my other what? My other.
Now look, when remember he's married, so this entire thing is wrong. Okay, so but let's just say it's intentionally constructed, right? So Mr. Macaroni's character is married, right? So he is now saying she's my other half, she's my other half, right? Now look at how they're not showing his face when he's saying that. Okay, they're not showing his face when he's saying that, because and this is actually a setup for another message later on. Okay, it's a setup for another message, but even if they're not married, they are not married, so of course it's wrong. But if they had focused on his face, it would have been more of an impartation of a good message. Okay, even though the setting is wrong, it would have still been a good message, right? But and that is impacted more solidly. Okay, now, but they did not show his face when he was saying that, because they intentionally do not want you to imbibe that. Okay, so let's continue anyways. And besides, it's not other half, is better half. Anyways, it's not really like better half or other half. Anyways, it's two becoming one. So both people have their good sides, and good things that they are using to make that union greater, right? And both sides also have things that they need to work on, you know. So that's
Exactly. So we're just going to take this. We're going to a restaurant, so just pack it up. And we are going to a restaurant. You walk here. Madbelo Morocco.
okay. So he's gonna take her places, and then what you, mommy wa comes in. So that's the wife of Mr. Macaroni, right? She's walking. He sees her. He dodges under the clothes aisle so she won't see him. You see what they're promoting here, right? Cheating, an unfaithful husband, and an unfaithful spouse. An unfaithful wife too, as you will see later on. You know, because ultimately what they want is for you to make the wrong choices. It doesn't matter how you make the wrong choices. It doesn't matter when. It doesn't matter with who. It doesn't matter whatever. All they're after is that you make the wrong choices. Okay, and they do that by making it seem normal to you, by normalizing it to you, by desensitizing it to you, by making you feel that it's not a big deal. And if you are blinded by Satan, if you are misled by Satan, if Satan leads you and not God, you will think that it is not a big deal. You know. So ultimately, the repercussions of that will be far greater than you would ever want to bear. Okay, I'm talking to everybody. Okay, now let's continue.
Thank you. Where is Daddy Wa? Daddy Wa! Daddy Wa! Daddy Wa! Ah! I saw him enter.
Now, first of all, look at what she did. Now, they could have shown her doing something that would have been smarter. Okay, that is taking out her phone and calling him. Okay, but they didn't show that. They showed her coming into the store and shouting his name like somebody who is not, fully okay upstairs. So like they are intentionally trying to send a negative message about her character and her smartness also. You know, because of course, if you even if someone is far, I mean, I've had this happen to me multiple times. Right, I'm meeting up with someone and I've seen the person not too far away. I'm not going to start shouting your name. I'm going to call you, right, or you will call me. It's not for you to just start shouting the person's name like you don't have a phone. So it's ridiculous, and they intentionally stated that. They intentionally staged that.
Let me go, Tumba.
Now she calls the friend, not him. Like he doesn't have a phone or she doesn't have a phone. She called the friend. Okay. Now see what happens here.
The boy, why is mommy? Why calling me now? Why is she calling me about her husband? You never see anything. Hello? Yeah, hello, mommy. Why? Please, is that the one with you? That the one is with me. It's with me. It's here.
Now this is something very evil, actually, that the media promotes. Okay. And sadly, some people have imbibed it into their lives. You know, this ridiculous thing called bro code or whatever garbage. Okay. So that is to support, and it's amongst men, right? To support your man friend, your friend, even when he's doing something wrong, even when he's doing something at the detriment of his marriage, of his relationship, of his life or career, or even of his common sense, you know, to still support him, even though he's doing that. So both of you find yourselves, and you'll be friends in hell too, but just you won't be able to talk. So it won't be so cool then. So it's a very irritating thing that they promote actually. And they're doing the same thing here again. She calls him saying, "Where is Daddy Wa?" He now says he's here, knowing fully well that he's not there, you know, covering up for his evil deeds when he should have said he's not here because he's not there, you know. It's a very and this brings me back to a real life. These things are all intentionally constructed, of course, majority of them. But this brings me back to a real life happening that happened to me a while, not to me, but to somebody I know, the hostel that I was staying in my final year in school. Okay, so we stay in the same hostel, right? We're friends, blah blah. This guy that I don't know from anywhere came to visit one of our other friends. Okay, now my best friend then was Leye. Is that he was also in school with us. Now, so we would be, in the house and everything. Rose, what's her name? Gold. Gold was the name of the girl that guy came to visit. Okay, of the young woman. Okay, her name was Gold. And then we are also friends with Gold now because we all stay in the same house, right? And there is also friends with Gold. So we were talking blah blah. It was late at night and everything. Now the guy wanted to go, right, and he drove there. He now said he was looking for something in his car. Okay, that something is missing in his car. Okay, now I think they went outside together or something like that. I mean, I was not really there at the beginning stages of that. But before I know it, there's noise, there's this, that he's looking for. He now started blaming Gold that she took what was in the car. Now, should he have done that without searching for it properly? Now, fast forward, he found because Leia now also got involved. Fast forward, he found what he was looking for in the car. It was not actually missing. He was the one that was half blind and did not search for it properly. You know, Now, after he now found it, and Leia was already starting to say some things like, trying to defend him, this, that. After he now found it, first of all, he didn't actually apologize like he should have, and he should have apologized. Secondly, one thing that really disappointed me, Leia was now, trying to still back him up. Like, it's not really a big deal that he was accusing her, even though, like, he did not search for it properly. Now, in that kind of situation where you wrongly accuse somebody, of something that they did not do, and you now find out that it was a wrong thing, should your brain, if it's functioning properly, not tell you that you should apologize to the person and apologize well? And any other person besides you who has also a functioning brain should know that you should be apologized to. Okay? But both of them are actually now looking for a way. And the one I was so disappointed in Leia, right? Because I don't actually know that other guy from anywhere. I don't know him. But I was so disappointed in Leia that, okay, this is actually, I'm not sure I really should be such close friends with this person, because you never can tell what they'll do when the chips are down. And I never forgot that, you know, if something is wrong, you should be able to say that it is wrong, no matter who it is that, you have to correct. Whether it's a guy like you or a woman like you. I mean, it's common sense. Whether it's a man like you or a woman like you. I mean, it was so irritating, and so, I mean, I was so disappointed that day, because, I mean, I'll definitely talk anyways. I told them straight up that that's garbage. That's bullshit. Part of my French, you know. How dare you? And of course, God was very upset as well, because being wrongly accused, I don't even have the common sense or the courtesy or the respect, the basic respect to apologize when you've done something wrong. See how stupid they are. Okay. So that's definitely something that needs to go. Okay.
Aisha. I want to talk to him. Hey! Okay. He's coming from toilet. I'll give him. How did I find myself in this situation? Hello, my dear. How you doing?
What? See what he's doing right now? Actually trying to pretend like his daddy was. Can you see that? Can you see that?
Are you sure this is that the one that is talking? Mommy, what are you doing? Fantastic, fantabulous. It doesn't sound like Daddy Wa. I will call you later. Yeah. I'm sure Daddy Wa entered this place. Hey. The only Maka I know, Makanaki. What are you doing?
Okay. So you see that they are trying to promote cheating on a global, scale, both for men and for women. Because they want everybody to go to hell. It doesn't matter, like, even if you're a born again Christian, speaking in tongues, performing miracles, raising the dead, even if they can drag you and make you sin and go to hell, they will. So, you definitely need to guard your mind. So look at the Makanaki person comes in, Mommy Wa sees him. Now she has forgotten all about Daddy Wa and where he is. And now they are hugging, because they actually did a skit previously of them having, I think she had a dream or something that they had an affair or something like that, So they were trying to intentionally stage that, So let's continue.
Well, you're here already. Let me just get you some stuff. Oh, you are so nice,
Okay. He said, now that we're here, let me get you some stuff. And she said, you are so nice. Okay, look, because he buys you things doesn't make him nice. Okay, you need to get that. Buying things does not equate love. Okay, buying things does not even equate likeness. You might just know that is something he's supposed to do. Okay, so do not make the mistake of attributing real or genuine feelings to somebody because they are doing certain things for you. Okay, I cannot state this enough. I've had to deal with that before, so that's what I'm telling you. Okay, do not, of course, that doesn't mean that they're all evil or whatever, but at the end of the day, do not let the fact that they're spending on you or whatever make you feel like, okay, this person is genuine. Okay, you need to watch. You need to have your eyes like torchlight. Okay, like for real. All right. So let's continue.
What's the problem? Nothing. My leg. I'm checking my. Your leg. Okay, so they'll wrap up the bill. Go, Billy.
You see, right? Another negative message, right? They're trying to send. She sees that is the other lady, the, should I say side chick or something? I don't want to call a woman a chick, anyways, because even that is annoying and offensive. So, but the woman he's seeing on the side, she now comes, she can see that she's bending, and she asks like, what is going on? But anyways, you can see that, and she sees that okay, obviously something's happening, but they're trying to send a message that she doesn't care about any other thing apart from the money, which actually should be obvious if you are dating a married person. So that is why the moral compass, we need to have our moral compass straight. Okay, yeah. The she comes, right, and she sees that he's doing something. She asks what's wrong, this, that. He said it's his leg. Probably there's something wrong with his leg, but he's lying, right? So she now says, okay, they will wrap up the bill. So like sending the message that she doesn't care about anything wrong with his leg, but they're about to wrap up the bill. So that is the important thing. Sending the message that okay, all she cares about is the money. And if you are in a I mean, if you are a cheater, you are cheating on your wife, you're cheating on your husband, you're cheating on your wife, you deserve to be robbed every single day of your life. That is the fact about it. So if I let them get as much as they can from you because you are not a good person. Now, but if we're in a serious relationship, when both of them are courting to be married, it's not actually a good thing to send that message that you're all about the money. Even if you might be used to him doing things for you, but do not ever get to the point where you feel like you should try to send that message in any way that it's about the money. Do not ever, it's a very wrong thing, of course. You know, you should always show genuine care. It's not, and because that is a message that they are sending to men actually, that women don't care about anything apart from your money. Sending that kind of suggestion in real life might even have a greater impact on the man's mind, because they are already trying to push that message to them already, that's all you care about. you know so you need to everybody needs to just learn discretion, right? And of course, don't be with somebody you don't care about.
Lift me up with it. Oh, this is something that man cannot do. What have I done? I've missed you.
You see what she just said now. You see, do not do. You only you can do what that you cannot do or something. Probably referring to sexual activity or something like that. So there was this movie I was watching. I think it's a Grownish. There was a line there, literally saying, "Who wants to sleep with their husband?" Like stating it in a way like, why would you ever, the only person you're literally supposed to sleep with, okay? Now stating it like, why would I want to sleep with my husband? Like, why would I ever want that? Like, why would I ever even want that? That was literally the tone that was pushed there. Okay, so that's the same thing that they are reiterating here also. Like, you can do what he can do. He is not, he's not really there. But you can do that. Trying to send negative suggestions, trying to pervert your mind.
You don't call me, you don't check up on me. Oh, I don't have your number. Plus, I'm trying to avoid that psycho you call a husband. Don't mind.
Imagine, say you don't call or check up. Okay, you should only say that. And by the way, if you're a man, you should be smart enough to know that you should check up on your girlfriend. And if you're not married, you should check up on your girlfriend. You should, show that you care for her. And of course, if you're married, you're already living in the same house, and you should always check up on each other. So, but she's now saying this like, she's a married woman, and she's now telling him, right, that he's not checking up on her. But he's now saying, I don't have your number. Okay, another first weird thing. And I'm trying to avoid the cycle you call a husband. Okay, so the first one, very strange, right? If they've actually had anything to do with each other, especially in like a relationship, of course they should definitely have. You should definitely have a number. She should have his number, right? But it's still the wrong setting, because she's married, but they're showing both of them cheating now. Daddy was cheated, mommy was cheated, so everybody is cheating. So because they want you to think it's normal. The enemy is very, very clever at bringing deception like it's no big deal, bringing deception like it's comedy, You know, it is something else. So, but let's continue.
Damn, that one is piece of cake, eh? You try it! Yo, where did you come from? Yo, what are you doing?
Okay, so you can see, look, they're about to kiss, right? Nino and Mommy Wa. And then Daddy was sees that and he jumps outside, right? So he's still forming possessive, still forming territorial, while he himself is not being faithful. You know, if you're not being faithful, you have no right ever to say that she has to be faithful, or to suggest that you have some sort of right. No, you get what you give. Okay. And of course, as a woman, I'm not saying if your husband is cheating or your boyfriend is cheating, you should go and cheat. Or no, let God punish them. Let God deal with them. Or if as a man, your wife is cheating or your girlfriend, that let God punish them. You get. Don't take the laws into your own hands. Don't bring yourself down to their level by doing that. Okay, like, because at the end of the day, God is going to punish every single person for their sin. And if you now say somebody sinned, the sin that they will still be punished for, you now introduce your own sin. You now fall into sin again. So you will now be punished for the same thing also. So like, do not sink to their level. Okay, just leave it in the hands of God. Okay, so continue. So let's continue.
mo fẹ́ gbé ìkún lẹ́ẹ̀kún àmọ́kùn rẹ̀ wọ́n kí ni problem ẹ̀ mẹ́ ọgbọ́n Yorùbá bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo gbọ́ Yorùbá ọmọ Yorùbá ni bẹ́ẹ̀ ni fún instead of commando f àgbàlagbà àgbàyà ni ẹ o tún lọ ẹ yẹ fún mi.
Okay, so this is something that you're trying to promote, disrespect, right? A lack of respect for your elders. Okay. Now, of course, this setting is a very combative one. It's an explosive one because of what they're portraying, right? But at the end of the day, there should still be respect for your elders, right? You know, and one thing that the Yoruba culture really promotes that I love really is respect. You know, and those are part of the core moral values that our society has. Okay, so but it's one of our core values, right? And for many cultures in the world as well. So, but they're trying to remove those basic values, okay, and cause absolute confusion in our society. For example, yeah, in a place like America, they have almost fully succeeded in doing that. Actually, I remember when I was young, I used to be surprised when I would watch American movies and stuff, and I would see that their children will call the adults by name. Their children, like a 6, 7 year old child, will be calling somebody that's like 40 something by name. So that was surprising to me. But that is part of how they are trying to inject this culture of disrespect, this culture of disregard for your elder, which is very, very wrong. You know. So let's continue.
Listen to me, listen to me, boy yìí o mọ̀ pé ìwà tó ń bá lọ yìí you can just wake up and die. You wake up and you die. That's my squeeze, nigga. Don't call her that again. She's my sexy squeeze.
Okay, just like women shouldn't be called girls or call themselves girls, men shouldn't be called boys or call themselves boys either. Okay?
Don't call her your squeeze again, please. Don't call her your squeeze. Sorry. You are telling who sorry? You are telling him sorry.
Imagine now they've come up with another stupid name to call women, right? So is slay mama, is baddie, is the B word, is all sorts of ridiculous satanic things, that they try to make you think is cool, blah blah, everything is cool, even though it's stupid. So another name that they have introduced now is squeeze, so they have used this media forum to introduce squeeze, my sexy squeeze, to make it seem like it's cool. If anybody ever calls you a squeeze, better inform his father or his mother. Better tell him you are not a squeeze because you are not a pillow that is to be squeezed. Just all sorts of foolish things that they introduce that make it look like it's cool. I mean, they're ridiculous.
Is it him you are telling supposed to say sorry or me for him disrespecting your husband? Makanaki or macaroni? Makanaki.
On me. So you can see what just happened. She's apologizing to the side boy, to the side man, and then the side woman of Daddy Work comes in, right? And like shouts and then Makanaki now says Makanaki or macaroni, and then she now says Makanaki. So she they are literally showing her assessing the both of them, right? and seeing that okay, this one is a married man, right? So get away. So but the one that is still available, still looks like it's available, you know, pardon me, she takes him, she says Makanaki, and then walks away, right? So showing that, there's no moral compass. Actually, from the beginning, that it's been shown that there's no moral compass, actually, because it's an atmosphere of cheating and all sorts of evil, you know.
Come on, baby.
Okay, now this is the particular one that was kind of different, which I was saying, referring to the other half the other time, right? So as she's walking away with Nino, Makanaki, whichever one you want to call him, so Macaroni is singing, right? And he's saying, Ogbomowa, Ogbomola. He's calling Obiri. So it's supposed to be Omo Obiri, actually. Omo is a generic term, so it should not be used specifically for women, you know. So state it clearly or don't state it at all. Now, I'm now saying Ogbayawa, Ogbayalo. Okay, and remember they zoomed in on his face when he was saying that. So Ogbayawa, Ogbayalo. That means, you came with your wife, but you're not living with your wife. Trying to send, pardon me. Okay, I'm gonna have to trying to send a negative message that okay, even though you believe, this woman is your wife or something, she can be snatched by somebody else. You know, trying to cause distrust, trying to cause insecurity. You know, so that's definitely a negative message and should not be promoted. You should have trust in your wife. You should have trust in your husband, and by God's grace, they will prove to be people that actually are worthy of that. You know, so are worthy of that. Now let's continue.
See you later.
Dadiwa, are you okay?
I'm okay. Are you?
So he's shouting, right? Not trying not to, but it does not really want her to know that okay, they came together, you know.
Bill for what? There's nothing in his hand.
You said she should pick anything now. You and your other half, where they can carry go just now.
See the way they intentionally stage that you and your other half where they carry go just now, another reinforcement of that message that okay, you think that this woman is yours, right? You love her, you want to marry her, you married her, but she can be taken by anybody else who might be richer than you or who might look better than you or this or that, you know, trying to send a negative message, a negative suggestion, you know. So intentionally trying to cause mistrust, intentionally constructing these things to cause mistrust, to cause disunity, to cause insecurity. Okay. That's very wrong, obviously.
Yes, sir. PS or cash, sir?
Please.
Oh yeah, pay the money for your other half. I'll come and meet your better half.
So not really smart actually, but saying pay the money and then trying to normalize the atmosphere of cheating or the mindset of that. And trying to make you feel like it's really nothing to be bothered about. She's literally saying pay for your other half and then come and meet your better half. Acknowledging that that one is actually a half. And by the way, in the Bible, the consummation of marriage is not going to the church. It is sexual intercourse. That is the consummation of marriage. So if you're marrying multiple people, thinking that it's just just an activity, don't worry, guys. The devil's a liar. Okay. So if you are, in this mindset of normalizing what is evil, remember you will be encouraged to do that. You will be encouraged to normalize evil. You'll be encouraged to normalize lying, to normalize cheating, to normalize stealing, to normalize even incest, as crazy as it is, to normalize homosexuality, to normalize pedophilia, to normalize transgenderism, to normalize abortion, to normalize all sorts of evil, like literally to normalize idol worship, idolatry. Literally every kind of evil you can think of, plus new ones if there are new ones. They will try to make you normalize it. To normalize suicide, to normalize depression, to normalize anxiety, to normalize all sorts of evil by these things that they promote consistently, continuously into your minds. Never stopping their promotion of that. All the time. You need to protect your mindset. You need to guard your hearts. And may the Lord help us to do that in Jesus' name. Repel evil, repel lying, repel cheating, repel stealing, repel evil. And may the Lord guide you in doing that in Jesus' name. See you next time.